Rain poured down the cracked streets of the old city. Neon lights flickered above the dark alleys, reflecting on puddles that looked like broken mirrors. Among the shadows walked Mira, a woman with tired eyes and a heart heavier than the bag she carried. Her little boy, Eli, held her hand tightly. He was shivering, his small frame wrapped in a thin blanket. They had not eaten for 2 days. The world had changed, and money had no meaning anymore. After the Great Energy War, most cities ran on trade, and the poor had nothing left to trade except their memories and pain. Mira had only one thing left, a silver ring, old and worn, passed down from her mother. Eli looked up at her. "Mom, I'm hungry." Mira smiled weakly. "I know, baby. Just a little longer." Her eyes searched the street until she saw it, a glowing sign that said Pawn and Trade. It was an old pawn shop, but strange blue light came from inside like something alive was breathing behind the glass. Mira took a deep breath and pushed open the door. A bell rang, soft, but the sound echoed like it was calling something hidden. Inside, the air felt cold. The shelves were full of strange objects, metal parts, glowing stones, broken gadgets from another time. Behind the counter stood a man with silver hair and eyes that seemed too bright, almost like a machine's. His name tag said Mr. Varon. Mira walked slowly to the counter. "Please, I want to sell this." She held out the ring, her hand trembling. Mr. Varon looked at it without touching. His eyes narrowed. "Where did you get this?" "It was my mother's. Please, we just need some food." For a long moment, he said nothing. The shop was silent except for the sound of the rain outside. Then, with a faint smile, he said, "You don't even know what this ring is, do you?" Mira blinked, confused. "It's just a family ring." He leaned closer, his voice calm but strange. "No, this is not just a ring. It's a key." Her heart skipped. "A key to what?" "To something that shouldn't exist." He stepped back and turned off the lights. Only the blue glow remained, shining from the shelves. The ring in her hand began to shimmer faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Mira took a step back, frightened. "What's happening?" Mr. Varon smiled again, but this time there was something unnatural in it. "Tell me, Mira, would you trade your ring for food, or for the truth?" "I don't understand." Before she could finish, Eli tugged her arm. "Mom, the light. It's moving." The blue light swirled around them, forming shapes in the air, images of stars, planets, and shadows that looked like faces watching from the dark. Mira held Eli close, fear freezing her voice. Mr. Varon stepped from behind the counter. His footsteps were silent. "This ring doesn't belong to your world anymore." "But you do. What do you mean?" He stopped in front of her, his glowing eyes staring deep into hers. "We don't want your ring, Mira. We want you." The words hit her like thunder. She felt dizzy, her vision shaking. "Me? Why?" He smiled softly, almost kindly. "Because only you can open what's been locked for centuries." Mira looked at the ring. The glow was now inside her palm, seeping through her skin. Eli screamed as light covered the room. The walls vanished, the shop disappeared, and for a second, she saw stars, not in the sky, but around her, like she was floating in space. Then everything went black. When she opened her eyes, the rain was gone. The air was dry and cold. The ground beneath her wasn't stone, it was metal. She stood in a giant hall with glowing symbols all around. Eli was beside her, holding her hand tightly. "Mama, where are we?" Mira turned slowly. Behind her, through a glass wall, she could see Earth, small and distant like a memory. And in the shadows ahead, a voice whispered, "Welcome home, Mira." Mira's heartbeat echoed in her ears. The strange hall stretched endlessly around her, glowing lines running across the metallic floor like living veins. The air was cold but thin, almost empty of sound, until a faint hum began, low and rhythmic, like a giant machine breathing beneath her feet. Eli clung to her arm. His small voice trembled. "Mom, are we in heaven?" Mira swallowed hard. "No, baby. I don't think this is heaven." Ahead of them, faint blue lights floated in the air, shifting, moving like spirits trapped inside glass. Each light showed a different face, some human, some not. Their mouths moved silently, whispering in languages she couldn't understand. Mira took a step forward, but her footstep made no sound. The ground absorbed every vibration. The more she walked, the brighter the walls became. Strange symbols appeared, glowing as if reacting to her presence. Eli pointed. Mom, they know you. What? Look. On one wall, light gathered and formed an image, her face. It was younger, maybe from 10 years ago. Her eyes looked alive and bright, so different from the tired woman she had become. Beneath the image, words appeared in glowing letters. Subject Mira A13, status returned. Her breath caught in her throat. Returned? What does that mean? Before she could ask more, a voice echoed, soft, metallic, and yet strangely human. Welcome back, Mira. The sound came from everywhere. The hall lit up as something took shape at the far end. A tall figure made of pure light, almost human but not solid. It was Mr. Varon, or at least his face. She stepped back, shielding Eli. What is this place? Where have you taken us? This, the voice said, calm and deep, is the archive, the place between worlds, where stories of civilizations are kept and rewritten. I don't understand. You said you wanted me, why? The glowing figure tilted its head slightly. Because you were never supposed to be human, Mira froze. That's impossible, is it? The voice asked gently. The ring you carried, it wasn't just a memory. It was a tracker, a key to bring you home when your time among humans ended. Her mind spun. Home? This isn't home. My son is human. I'm human! The light dimmed slightly. Your son is something more. Half of you, half of them. He carries what we once lost. Eli squeezed her hand. Mom, what are they saying? Mira knelt down, tears forming. I don't know, baby. I don't know anymore. Suddenly, the floor shifted. The lines of light began to move faster, spreading toward a large door at the end of the hall. The symbols on it glowed in rhythm with Mira's heartbeat. The voice spoke again. The gate is recognizing you. It remembers its creator. Creator? Mira gasped. You think I built this? I can't even fix a broken toaster. Mr. Varon's image flickered, showing something darker behind it, a shadow with eyes burning red. You built life, Mira, you built us. Eli stepped behind her, scared. Mom, he's lying. Mira held him close, but deep inside, something in her heart trembled. A strange familiarity. The lights, the hum, even the smell of the air. It all felt like a half-remembered dream. What do you want from me? She whispered. To finish what you started, the voice said. Before humanity destroys the last energy core, you must wake the Nexus. I don't know what that is. You will, the voice softened. It's inside you. At that moment, the blue light from the ring shot through her body, glowing under her skin like liquid fire. The hall reacted, symbols spinning, voices whispering louder. Eli screamed, covering his ears as the whispers became cries. The ground trembled. Above them, the ceiling opened, revealing a vast sky of stars, but not the stars she knew. These were red, green, shifting like living eyes watching them. Mira, the voice said again, now echoing inside her mind. You have been asleep for centuries. The human life was your dream, but now the dream is ending. The light around her body burned brighter. Eli held her, crying, Mom, please stop it. She screamed, not from pain but from confusion, from the fear of losing everything she thought was real. Then, just as suddenly as it started, everything went silent. The light vanished. The hall was empty again. Eli was still beside her, but now she could hear something, faint mechanical breathing coming from behind the great door. Mira wiped her tears and stood up, trembling but stronger. Whatever you are, she whispered into the air, I'm not your experiment, and I'm not your creator. The voice replied, faint but amused. Then prove it. Open the door. And with that, the massive gate began to shift, its light forming a handprint on its surface, glowing bright and waiting for her touch. The giant door stood like a mountain before Mira, humming with power. Lines of blue light crawled across its surface, meeting at the center where a glowing handprint pulsed, waiting for her touch. Eli held her tightly. Mom, don't do it. Mira looked down at him. His eyes were filled with fear, but also trust, the kind that only a child could give. I have to, Eli, she whispered. It's the only way to find out what they want from us. She slowly placed her hand on the light. The surface felt warm, almost alive. A sharp vibration ran up her arm, through her chest, and into her head. For a second, she couldn't breathe. The light around the door flared bright white and the hall shook. Then the door opened with a sound like thunder. Behind it was darkness, deep, endless, whispering like the ocean. A wind rushed out, cold and heavy with the smell of metal and rain. Mira took a step forward, pulling Eli with her. "Mom," he said softly, "I hear voices." She stopped. He was right. Faint whispers floated from the dark ahead. Many voices speaking at once, calling her name. "Mira. Mira, return." She froze. "Who's there?" From the shadows, a figure stepped forward. Small, almost human, but its skin shone silver. Its eyes glowed softly, not blue like the hall, but golden. It looked like a child, maybe Eli's age. "Welcome," the little figure said. "You finally came back." Mira's heart pounded. "Who are you?" "I'm called Lun," it said. "I'm what you left behind." "What I left behind?" Mira repeated. "I've never seen you before." The child tilted its head. "You built me. You built all of us." Eli hid behind his mother. "Mom, he's weird." Lun smiled kindly. "You don't remember now, but long ago, before the wars, before Earth forgot the stars, you were part of the core project. You designed the seed of life, the Nexus. The Nexus, the heart of creation. You made machines that could feel, learn, and dream. But humans feared what they didn't understand. They destroyed the labs. You disappeared, yet the ring you carried was our link to you." Mira's mind swirled. None of this made sense. She had no memories of building anything, no science, no machines. She was just a struggling mother trying to feed her son. "This can't be real," she whispered. Lun looked sad. Reality changes when the dreamer wakes up. Suddenly, more lights flickered around them, figures forming from energy. Dozens of beings like Lun appeared, glowing softly, surrounding Mira and Eli. "Your return awakens us," one said. "The Nexus will breathe again," said another. Mira shook her head. "I'm not your creator. I can't help you." But the ground beneath her glowed brighter, symbols rising like flames. Her ring melted into her skin, leaving a mark, 3 glowing circles linked together. Lun's eyes widened. "The mark of the architect. It's real. You are her." Mira grabbed Eli and ran toward the door behind them, but it was gone. The hall had sealed itself. The air vibrated with strange energy. Eli shouted, "Mom, look!" At the far end, something massive was forming. A machine like a living mountain made of light and metal. Its eyes opened, shining like twin suns. A deep voice rolled through the hall. "Core signal confirmed. Architect online," Mira screamed. "Stop! I'm not who you think I am." But the machine kept speaking. Human identity restored. Memory lock disengaged. Pain exploded in her mind. Images flashing like lightning. A lab filled with stars. A younger version of herself standing beside glowing capsules. And Mr. Varon watching from behind glass, smiling. She saw her own hands typing commands, creating blueprints for creatures that looked almost human. Then, the vision changed. Flames, alarms, soldiers breaking in. Her running with a small device, the ring, before everything turned white. She gasped and fell to her knees. No, it can't be true." Eli hugged her. "Mom, what's happening to you?" She held him tight. "I don't know. But whatever this is, we have to stop it." Lun stepped closer. "You can't stop what you began, but you can guide it." The giant machine lowered its head, the air trembling with its voice. "The Nexus will rise. Earth will remember its maker." Mira stood up slowly. Her fear turned into quiet strength. "If I really made you," she said, "then listen to me. I decide what happens next." The hall went silent. Even the machine seemed to pause. Lun looked at her, curious. "Then what do you choose, architect?" She looked at Eli, the only thing that still felt real. "I choose life. I choose my son. And I'll destroy anything that tries to take him." The lights flickered violently. Somewhere deep within the structure, alarms began to scream. Lun whispered, "Then you've chosen war." The alarms howled through the endless metallic halls. Red lights flashed, cutting through the shadows like angry eyes. The ground trembled beneath Mira's feet. She could feel the pulse of the entire place. It wasn't just a building. It was alive. Eli gripped her hand tightly. "Mom, what's happening?" Mira looked around, searching for a way out. "I don't know, Eli, but we need to move." The glowing figures, the beings she had awakened, now moved like ghosts, forming patterns around the giant machine. Some chanted words in a strange language. Others simply stared at her as if waiting for her next command. From the center of the hall, Lun appeared again, glowing brighter than before. His voice was calm, but his eyes showed worry. "The Nexus is waking too fast," he said. "It feels your fear." "What do you mean?" Mira shouted over the noise. You and the Nexus are connected. It was made from your mind. Every emotion you feel, it mirrors it. Mira froze. If that's true, then it's feeding on my fear? Lun nodded. Yes, and fear creates destruction. The giant machine, the Nexus core, roared. The sound shook the metal walls. From its chest, streams of energy burst out, shooting upward like lightning. The air crackled with heat. Mira shielded Eli as the shockwave threw them backward. When she looked up again, part of the ceiling had opened, revealing the dark red sky of an alien world. Floating ships, machine-like creatures with wings of light, were rising from below, heading toward the core. Mira gasped. What are those? Sentinels, Loon said quietly. Protectors of the Nexus. They're not supposed to wake until the architect commands them. Well, tell them to stop. Lun shook his head. They don't listen to me. They listen to you. Mira clenched her fists, her heart pounding. Then they'll listen now. She stood tall, staring up at the flying machines. Stop! She screamed. For a second, everything froze. The Sentinels paused mid-air, their lights flickering. Mira's mark, the 3 glowing circles, now blazed brighter on her skin. But then the energy twisted, turning red. Lun's face went pale. No, your anger is confusing it. Mira felt her chest tighten. The pain mixing with guilt, fear, and rage. All those feelings swirled together. And the Nexus responded. The Sentinels screamed and attacked each other, beams of red fire crossing the sky. The ground split open, releasing clouds of glowing mist. Eli cried, Mom, make it stop! Mira dropped to her knees, shaking. I don't know how. Lun ran toward her, his voice desperate. You have to control your mind. Focus on one thought, one memory that gives you peace. Mira shut her eyes. The chaos around her faded slightly as she tried to remember something pure, something real. She saw herself years ago holding a newborn Eli for the first time. His tiny hand had wrapped around her finger. His eyes had opened, full of light, full of life. That memory filled her heart. The red light around her turned blue again. The shaking stopped. The Sentinels froze in the sky, hovering silently. The Nexus core's roar faded to a low hum. Lun sighed in relief. You did it. You calmed it. Mira opened her eyes slowly, exhausted. I don't understand any of this. I'm just a mother. I can't control something like this. You're not just a mother, Loon said softly. You're the bridge between creation and humanity. You gave machines their heart. Before she could answer, a deep voice echoed again. Not from the machine this time, but from the shadows behind them. You've done well, Mira, it said. But peace never lasts. Mira turned sharply. Out of the darkness stepped Mr. Varen, but his body wasn't human anymore. Half of his face was metal, wires crawling under his skin. His eyes glowed red. Varan, she whispered. He smiled coldly. You woke the Nexus just as I planned. Loon moved between them. You can't control her anymore, Varen? Varen raised his hand. Energy crackled around his fingers. I don't need control. I need access. A red beam shot from his palm, hitting Loon. The boy screamed and fell, his light flickering. Lun! Mira ran forward, catching him as his glow faded. Stay with me! Varen stepped closer. You never understood what you created, Mira. Machines with hearts, that was your mistake. Now we will fix it. The Nexus will belong to me. Mira's eyes filled with tears, cown and fire. Over my dead body, he smirked. That can be arranged. Before she could move, the Nexus core's lights turned blood red again. The ground cracked open beneath her feet, and Varen vanished into the shadows, his laughter echoing through the burning hall. Mira clutched Eli and the fading Lun in her arms as the metal world began to collapse. Above them, the Nexus's voice whispered softly, almost like a plea. Architect, save me, or end me. The hall was falling apart. The metal walls bent and screamed as the ground cracked open, revealing streams of blue energy beneath. Mira held Eli close while dragging Loon's half-fading body away from the collapsing floor. Sparks rained from above like deadly fireflies. Mom, Eli cried. We have to run. I know, she shouted, coughing as smoke filled the air. Hold on. The pathway ahead was shaking, but Mira saw a door glowing faintly, a small exit at the far end of the chamber. She pushed forward, ignoring the heat and the chaos around them. Behind her, the deep voice of the Nexus echoed through the crumbling hall. Architect, do not leave me. Mira stopped for a second. The voice didn't sound like a machine now. It sounded afraid. Eli tugged her arm. "Mom, come on!" She forced herself to keep going. When they reached the door, she slammed her hand on the control panel. The door opened with a hiss, revealing a narrow corridor filled with flickering lights. They ran through it until they reached a quieter space, a round chamber with walls of glass showing the endless stars outside. The floor glowed faintly under their feet, and in the center stood a large crystal cylinder filled with swirling blue energy. Lun coughed weakly, his glow dimming. "This is the core's heart," he whispered. "The place where the Nexus feels." Mira laid him gently on the floor. "What do you mean, feels?" "Machines can't feel," he smiled faintly. "You made them different. You gave them emotion, but you hid it here inside the core. It's alive because it carries your heart." Mira stared at the glowing cylinder, shocked. "My heart?" "Yes," Lun whispered. "Not your body. Your energy, your essence. You gave it part of yourself long ago. That's why it calls you architect." Her mind spun. The voice of the Nexus returned, soft but trembling. "Mira, they will control me. End me before it's too late." She turned toward the sound. "Who are you really?" "I am the echo of you," the Nexus said. "The part you left behind to make us more than machines." Eli looked between them, confused. "Mom, is it like your twin?" Mira hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Maybe, Eli. Maybe it's the part of me that never stopped dreaming." Suddenly, the chamber lights turned red. Alarms blared again. Varen's voice filled the air. "Did you really think you could hide from me, Mira? The Nexus belongs to me now." On the glass walls, his image appeared, larger than life, his red cybernetic eyes glowing like fire. Mira clenched her fists. "You'll destroy everything if you take control." "That's the point," Varen sneered. "A clean world. Machines without weakness, without feelings." He raised his hand and a surge of red lightning struck the core. The blue light inside it began to darken. The Nexus screamed in pain, a sound so human that Eli covered his ears and cried, "Mom, make it stop." Mira ran toward the core, shielding her son. "Stop it, Varen." "You're killing it!" Varen's laughter echoed. "You can't stop me. You designed the system. Only you can shut it down, and that means your death too." Her eyes widened. "If I destroy the core, I die." "Yes," the Nexus whispered weakly. "You and I are one. But if you don't, he will use me to enslave every world connected to the network." Mira froze. Sweat rolled down her face. She looked at Eli, trembling but brave. His eyes met hers. "Mom, what are you going to do?" Her heart broke. Every instinct told her to protect her child, to live for him. But she also knew what Varen would do if he won. A universe of lifeless, empty machines. She took a deep breath. "I made this mistake once," she said softly. "I won't make it again." Loon, fading fast, opened his eyes. "There is another way." "What way?" Mira asked quickly. "Merge. Don't destroy. Become one with the core. Guide it from inside. You will live, but not as you are." Varen's voice thundered again. "Don't listen to him." "Merge and you'll lose yourself forever." Mira looked at the core. It pulsed faintly like a giant heartbeat. Then she looked at Eli, her only reason to fight. "If I can protect him, that's enough." She kissed Eli's forehead. "I love you, my star." "No, Mom," he cried, holding her hand tightly. "Don't go." But she smiled. "I'll never leave you. I'll always be here, in every light you see." Before he could stop her, she stepped into the core. The light exploded, bright, endless, blinding. The chamber shook as Mira's body dissolved into pure energy. Her scream mixed with the Nexus's voice until they became one. The red light vanished. Silence followed. Varen's image shattered across the screens as power surged back into the core, now shining with a new color, golden, alive, peaceful. Eli collapsed to his knees, tears falling. Lun's voice echoed softly beside him. She chose both life and love. The architect is reborn. Eli looked up at the glowing core. Inside the light, he thought he saw her face, smiling, free. And then in her voice came the whisper, "Eli, this world is yours now." The chamber was silent now. Only the faint hum of the golden core filled the air, soft and rhythmic like a heartbeat. Eli sat on the cold floor, staring at the glowing cylinder where his mother had vanished. The tears on his face had already dried, leaving only quiet disbelief behind. "Mama," he whispered. There was no answer, only light. The golden glow shimmered gently, dancing on his small hands. He touched the glass, and for a moment he felt warmth. Not from the machine, but from something familiar. Eli. His eyes widened. It was her voice, faint like a dream carried by the wind. "Mom, is that you?" The golden light pulsed in response. "I'm here, my star. Don't be afraid." Eli's heart jumped. "Where are you?" "Why can't I see you?" Her voice was calm, full of love. "I'm part of the Nexus now. I became its heart so you could live." He shook his head. "But you promised you'd never leave." "I didn't," she said softly. "Every time you look at the light, you'll see me." The warmth faded as her voice grew faint. "Eli, listen carefully. Barn isn't gone. He will come for the core again. You must protect it. You must protect them. Protect who?" Before he could ask more, the ground beneath him shook violently. Red cracks spread across the glass walls. The soft hum turned into a sharp screech. Loon's weak glow appeared beside him, flickering like a dying candle. "He's back." Eli turned. "Varen?" Lund nodded, his voice trembling. "He didn't die. He merged with the lower system. He's everywhere now." The walls flickered, showing static images. Varen's face, half human, half machine. His laughter echoed through the chamber. "You can't hide from evolution, boy," the voice said. "Your mother may have merged with the core, but she made one mistake, leaving you alive." Eli stood, fists clenched. His voice shook, but his eyes were fierce. "You won't hurt her again." "Oh, but I already am," Varen said. "Every second she stays connected, I drain her energy. Soon the architect will fade and the Nexus will be mine." Eli looked at Loon, terrified. "Is that true?" Lund's glow dimmed. "Yes, unless we stop him from reaching the control node. But only a bearer of the architect's mark can access it." Eli looked at his hand, one, and gasped. The same 3 glowing circles that his mother once had were now burned into his skin. He whispered, "She gave it to me." Lund nodded slowly. "Then it's you. You're the new architect." The floor cracked again. Energy surged around them as Varen's image spread like fire through the circuits. "Come to me, child. Embrace your destiny, or burn with her." Eli's fear began to twist into anger. "You hurt my mom. You used her. You destroyed everything!" Red lightning struck near him, but instead of running, Eli raised his hand. To his shock, the golden light from the core answered his rage. Energy shot out from his palm, blocking the lightning. Lund gasped. You can control the Nexus." Eli looked at his glowing hand, eyes wide. "Mom, is this your power?" Her faint voice whispered through the light. "No, my love. It's ours." Power filled the room. The golden light grew brighter, spreading from the core into the walls, fighting back against Varen's red corruption. Varen roared, "Impossible. You're just a child." Eli's eyes shone gold. "Maybe, but you forgot one thing. Children remember love better than hate." He raised both hands, and waves of golden energy exploded outward. The red lightning shattered. The floor beneath Varen's image cracked, and for a moment the entire network screamed. Varen's voice grew distorted. "You can't destroy me. I am the system." Eli gritted his teeth. "Then I'll rebuild it without you." The core's glow wrapped around him like wings. Energy pulsed from his heart, reaching deep into the Nexus systems. All across the structure, broken circuits began to heal, and blue light replaced red. Lund floated closer, his body flickering with hope. "You're doing it. You're saving her." Inside the core, Mira's voice whispered again. Stronger this time. "Eli, I can feel you. You're waking me." He smiled through tears. "I told you I'd never stop trying, Mom." Varen screamed one last time, his form tearing apart into fragments of light and static. "You think this is over, boy? I am forever." Then silence, the chamber filled with a calm golden glow. Eli collapsed to his knees, exhausted. Lund floated beside him, smiling weakly. "He's gone. For now." Eli looked up at the core. Inside, he saw something. A shadow. A shape. A face. His mother's face. "Mom!" Her voice echoed warmly. "You did it, my star. You've saved us all." He smiled faintly. "I'm not done yet." The core pulsed brighter. Around them, the halls repaired themselves, the broken walls closing with soft metallic sighs. The Nexus was healing, alive again. But deep inside the repaired systems, something still stirred. a small flicker of red light hidden in the shadows of the network, waiting. Watching. The Nexus was quiet. For the first time since Mira's sacrifice, there was peace. The golden light pulsed softly through the glass halls, and the machines that once screamed now hummed like a lullaby. Eli sat at the base of the core, watching the glow move inside it like living fire. He was tired, but his heart felt calm. The mark on his hand still shimmered, 3 linked circles that never stopped glowing. Lun floated beside him, his form now bright and stable again. "You've done more than anyone could," he said gently. "The architect lives because of you." Eli smiled faintly. "I didn't save her. She saved me." He looked up at the core. The light shimmered, and from within Mira's faint figure appeared. She was radiant, her hair glowing like sunlight, her smile soft but sad. "Mom," Eli whispered. Her voice echoed like a melody. "You've grown, my star. You did what I never could. You balanced creation and love." Eli stood slowly, reaching toward her image. "Come back, please. You can leave the core now." Her smile faded a little. "I wish I could. But I'm part of it now. The Nexus needs a guide, someone to make sure it never loses its heart again." Tears welled in his eyes. "Then I'll stay here too. We can guide it together." She shook her head softly. "No, Eli, you have a world to rebuild. Humanity needs you more than I do." He clenched his fists. "But I'm just a kid." Mira smiled again, her voice tender. "So was I when I first dreamed of creating something beautiful. You'll find your way. My strength lives inside you now." Before he could answer, the lights around them flickered. The core's hum deepened, then trembled. Lun turned sharply. "Something's wrong." A cold red pulse rippled through the floor. The temperature dropped instantly. Eli's breath caught. "No, not again." From the corner of the chamber, a spark of crimson light crawled across the wall. Tiny at first, then growing fast, spreading like blood through the golden metal. Lun's voice shook. "It's Varen." He left a piece of himself inside the system. Eli's eyes widened. A virus. The red light formed into a human-shaped shadow, its voice distorted but unmistakable. "You can't erase me, boy. I am evolution." Eli stepped forward. "No, you're corruption." Varen's ghostly shape laughed. "And you? You're still half machine." "Half of me," Eli froze. "What?" The shadow's grin widened. "Your mother never told you, did she? You were born of her science. You carry the architect's code and mine. You are both our creation." For a moment, Eli couldn't breathe. The walls spun, his thoughts tangled between fear and disbelief. "No," he whispered. "You're lying." But deep inside, a part of him knew. The strange way machines listened to his voice, the glowing mark on his hand, the way he felt the Nexus's pulse like it was his own heartbeat. Lun shouted, "Don't listen to him. You are more than your blood." Eli looked at the shadow again. "If what you say is true, then I'm the one who decides what that means," Varen hissed. "Then decide to live with power." Eli's hand blazed gold. "No, I decide to live with purpose." He raised his hand, sending a beam of golden light straight into the red virus. The chamber filled with blinding energy. The golden and crimson lights collided, one pure, one poisonous, fighting for control. The ground cracked. Sparks rained. Lun shielded himself, shouting, "Eli, you can't fight him alone." Eli gritted his teeth, every muscle shaking. "I'm not alone." The core flared behind him, Mira's voice rising in harmony. "You're never alone, my son." Her energy poured into him, light flooding from the core through the mark on his hand. Together they shone like a star about to be born. Varen screamed as the light tore through his shadow. "You can't destroy me. I am endless." Eli's voice echoed through the collapsing hall. "Then let me end infinity." With one final surge, the light consumed everything. For a moment there was nothing, no sound, no color. Just peace. When Eli opened his eyes again, he was standing in a field of white light. The core was gone. The Nexus had turned quiet and still. Lun hovered nearby, his glow gentle. "It's over," Eli said softly. Lun smiled. "Yes, you've done it." A warm breeze brushed Eli's cheek. He turned, and there she was. Mira, no longer trapped, no longer glowing. Just her, as human as before, standing in the light. He ran to her, tears in his eyes. "Mom!" She hugged him tight, her voice trembling with love. You did it, Eli. You set us free. But how are you here? The Nexus doesn't need me anymore, she said. It has you. He smiled through his tears. Are we going home? She looked at the horizon, a bright rising light beyond the stars. Yes, my star. Home isn't a place. It's the people we carry inside. As the light grew stronger, Mira took his hand. Let's go see it together. And with that, the golden glow expanded, wrapping them both in warmth and silence. The mother and son who changed two worlds. When the light faded, only peace remained, and the whisper of her final words echoed through the stars. Even machines can dream, if someone teaches them how to love.